Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to the Lightning Bolt Chronicles. It's me, Christina McCrary on Facebook, aka The Black Mirror, aka Captain Consistent, aka The Mom Friend, aka Petty Level 12 and a half, aka Xtina McCrazy on TikTok and IG, host of McCrazy's Place podcast on YouTube. It also has an IG and a Facebook page. Co-host of Thursday Night Live, your weekly dose of social media and pop culture shenanigans and foolery, on Facebook and YouTube Live, where you can jump in the comments and talk to us and join in the foolery. And co-host of this magical, beautiful podcast, The Lightning Bolt Chronicles. We'll tell you all the places you can find it at the end, because that's just a lot more spiel, but I want to get to introducing my co-host. Ma'am!
Hello, guys. Hello, all of my magical friends. It's Erica, aka PoodleNoodle82 at Instagram. And I think PoodleNoodle82 kind of anywhere, probably.
She said at Instagram. That's great. I love it.
I'm a Hufflepuff and a dog mom. And yeah, that's about it.
Yay! All right, guys, we are back with another chapter. And this week's chapter is chapter 6 from the first book, and it is called The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. I know on the last episode I said that chapter was everything, but I already told you guys, like, this is going to be a problem because this chapter was everything. So
I have a feeling that we're probably going to be saying this for every chapter here on out.
Yes, because everything just keeps getting tossed at you in tidbits. And when we know the story as much as we do, we're like, oh my God, little foreshadowy things that you notice.
Yes.
Man, seriously. Okay, so as far as who we meet in this chapter, and there's a lot.
Did we say what the chapter's called?
Yeah, The Journey from Platform 9 3/4.
Okay, are we labeling it anything else?
I haven't decided yet. I've been thinking about it.
Or Ickle Ronnykins?
I love it. Ickle Ronnykins. That's the one. That's the one. So, chapter summary and introduction of characters. So, last episode, last chapter, Harry got a bird. We told you that Harry's bird was named Hedwig. In the very first, actually the second paragraph of this chapter, we learned that he had decided to call her Hedwig, a name he had found in a history of magic. Ooh. So he's reading his school books, he's preparing, he's getting ready to go. He is
the first and only time in Hogwarts in his school career. Like in his school.
He's got his books. He's been looking at them. He's been playing with his wizard things and getting all excited. And we find out 2 interesting things when he asks Uncle Vernon to drop him off at King's Cross Station so that he can catch the train at platform 9 3/4. So, first of all, we already knew Uncle Vernon was a word that we're trying not to say because we keep it PG over here, but it rhymes with bass mole. And he says he's going into London anyway, so he might as well drop him off. But if he wasn't going into London, he wouldn't. Jeez, thanks, jerk off. But the interesting piece there is, why are you going into London? Harry asked, trying to keep things friendly. Now, mind you, it's been about a month. Yep. Taking Dudley to the hospital, growled Uncle Vernon. Gotta have that ruddy tail removed before he goes to Smeltings. That fat is running around with a pig's tail for a month. That's what he gets.
Amazing.
But then, just because, again, Bass Mole, okay? They all go as a family. He drops Harry off. He takes him inside. Look, platform 9 and platform 10. There is no platform 9 3/4. And just as Harry starts to panic,
he goes, yours hasn't been built yet.
No. Better than that is when he says, have a good term, said Uncle Vernon with an even nastier smile. He left without another word. You left an 11-year-old child at a train station and said, okay, bye.
Sure did.
When McGonagall said they were the worst kinds of muggles, that's like generous. They're worse than the worst.
Yeah. Because he also knows that Harry can't possibly have any muggle money, any like regular person money.
Right. He has no money. He's got this giant trunk and a cage with an owl in it. So he's probably wearing regular clothes, which were 4 sizes too big, gray, shabby, hanging all off. His glasses are broken and taped together in the middle. Like, he looks like a homeless person.
He sure does.
And as the adult responsible for him, this worthless tub of lard says, have a good term, and goes and drives away.
Yep.
So Harry asks a guard who thinks he's just, a stupid kid playing around. It's not funny, whatever.
Right.
And then as Harry's trying to figure things out, it's getting closer to 11 o'clock when he knows that the train's going to leave. Oh, and it's, it says he was stranded in the middle of a station. He was stranded in the middle of a station with a trunk he could hardly lift, a pocket full of wizard money, and a large owl.
Poor baby.
But then as he's panicking, and he's like, oh, maybe I have to use my wand on a brick, like at Diagon Alley or something. And so he's getting desperate, and he's ready to try anything. And all of a sudden he overhears a woman's voice say, packed with muggles, of course. His radar goes up, and he swings around, and he sees this family.
Yeah.
Oh, we love the Weasleys. Oh. And this is where
family in the magical world.
Absolutely. And I think wizard children probably get homeschooled before they go to Hogwarts, because she said, blah, blah, blah. He swung around, 4 boys, all with flaming red hair. Each of them was pushing a trunk like Harry's, and they had an owl. Heart hammering, Harry pushed his cart after them. They stopped, and so did he, just near enough to hear what they were saying. Now, what's the platform number? Said the boy's mother. 9 3/4, piped a small girl, also redheaded, who was holding her hand. I feel like that had to be a lesson for Ginny for when it's time for her to go, because number one, Fred and George already been there. Percy and Charlie done already been there and left. So everybody knows it's platform 9 3/4.
Also,
because they've done this before. They've seen each other off and all that.
Not only that, Molly herself went to Hogwarts.
Right.
Okay. So
it wasn't like she didn't know.
I'm like, Molly, why are you asking this question? Right?
Well, and some of the theories online say that she said it on purpose to, like, in case Harry was around there, she could, like, be the, like, the fan theory that I saw online was that Dumbledore arranged that they would be in the station so that, and she would say things so that Harry would be able to get onto the platform.
Oh,
Because,
interesting.
but in the book, it kind of just looks like she's testing Ginny, who's the youngest
Yeah.
and isn't old enough to go yet. And
You're not allowed to use magic out in the outside world. So even if Harry, for example, did get desperate and thought, okay, this is like Diagon Alley and I need to start tapping bricks or something with my wand, he shouldn't be doing any of that
he'll be
because
looking like a weirdo.
yeah, well, it's technically illegal, right, to perform magic, any kind of magic in the real world. So
Right.
I could see how that makes perfect sense, and also for Molly to prepare Ginny, like you said.
Yeah. So she's, getting the boys together and they're being the boys. And so she sends Percy and then she's like, Fred, you next. And he's like, I'm not Fred, I'm George. Honestly, woman, you call yourself our mother. Can't you tell I'm George? And she says, oh, I'm sorry, dear. Only joking. I am Fred. And that's your introduction to the twins.
Exactly.
Who were
The
born on
perfect
April 1st. And they were born on April 1st. How perfect is that? Because Fred and George, just Fred and George. So they go through, and then Harry says, excuse me. And she's like, hello, dear. First time at Hogwarts? It's Ron's, too. And so this is Harry meeting Ron. Then Harry's like, yeah, the thing is, I don't know how. And she goes, how to get onto the platform? And Harry nodded and not to worry. And she tells him how, and he goes in and they do this and he gets onto the platform. He thinks he's going to crash into the wall because you have to run and go through the wall onto the platform. And he thinks he's going to lose it, but he's like, whatever, this is how you do it. And he does it and comes out on the platform and he's amazed and oh my God, and the Hogwarts Express and there's people. And as he's walking along the platform, we get some more what's the word I'm looking for? Foreshadowing, because he walks by Neville and Gran, and he walks by Lee Jordan, who has something with a hairy leg in a box. And he goes onto the train. He finds himself a spot. Oh, as he's struggling up the stairs, Fred and George help him with his trunk, take him in, get him settled in an empty compartment. And it's actually them who realize who he is first. And so, what's that? Said one of the twins suddenly, pointing at Harry's lightning scar. Blimey, said the other twin. Are you? He is, the first twin said. Aren't you? He added to Harry. What? Said Harry. Harry Potter, chorused the twins. Oh, him, said Harry. I mean, yes, I am.
Oh, him.
So they're like looking at him or whatever, and then mom calls, oh, George, are you there? Coming, mom. So they go. And then Harry, who's totally interested because it's the first wizard family that he's ever seen. So he's kind of hiding in the window watching, and they're saying goodbye to their mom and all this stuff. And this is where, she's trying to wipe something off Ron's nose, and Ron's wiggling free. And that's where, has Ickle Ronnykins got something on his nose? Said one of the twins. And then Percy comes out, can't stay long, I've got a prefect. And are you a prefect, Percy? Are you a prefect? Blah, 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 blah. And then, where is it? Because he's a prefect. They talk, she tells them to behave themselves. Don't blow up any toilets. They're like, ooh, we've never blown up a toilet. That's a good idea. And
yeah, right.
Don't worry, Ickle Ronnykins is safe with us. And so then, okay, here it is. This is what I was looking for. Hey, Mom, guess what? Guess who we just met on the train? Harry leaned back quickly so they wouldn't see him looking. You know that black-haired boy who was near us in the station? Know who he is? Who? Harry Potter. Harry heard the little girl's voice. Oh, Mom, can I go on the train and see him, Mom? Oh, please. You've already seen him, Ginny. And the poor boy isn't something you goggle at in a zoo. Is he really, Fred? How do you know? I asked him. Saw his scar. It's really there, like lightning. Poor dear. No wonder he was alone. I wondered. He was ever so polite when he asked how to get onto the platform. Never mind that. Do you think he remembers what you-know-who looks like? Their mother suddenly became very stern. I forbid you to ask him, Fred. No, don't you dare. As though he needs reminding of that on his first day of school. All right, keep your hair on. It was sounded. And I just love all of that because, number one, I love the relationships that the Weasley kids have with their mother. She's a true, like, she's a mother. No, don't do that. Oh, you guys are going to be who you're going to be. You behave yourselves. Don't blow up any toilets. Like, she's just such a mom. And she was like, oh, she's immediately, oh, poor dear. Like,
I think that it gives us a really good understanding of who she is, right? Like, it's an excellent introduction into her character, because that's really, I mean, she's a mother first and foremost, and she's so caring, and she's so, like, she just wants to look out for everyone, make sure everyone is well taken care of, and
kids are kids, and all the kids are her kids.
Yeah, all the kids.
She's one of those. Like, yeah, and she has so many kids that the kids come to her house and they're all her kids. She's taking care of everyone. She's making sure everybody. She's the epitome of a mom. We love Molly Weasley.
Yes.
So then they get onto the train, and Ron comes in to sit with Harry. And we find out that the thing that Lee Jordan had with a hairy leg sticking out was a tarantula, because Fred and George are like, hey, we're going down here to see the tarantula. And Ron's like, okay, because Ron's deathly afraid of spiders, so Ron don't want to see the tarantula. So they leave Ron and Harry together, and it's kind of a little bit awkward or whatever. And Ron says, and it says, are you really Harry Potter? Ron blurted out. Harry nodded. And then Ron's kind of like asking questions or whatever, and Harry's okay with it. And then when it gets awkward again, Harry's like, well, are all your family wizards? Because he's just as interested in wizard families as Ron is in Harry and Muggles and whatever. And so Ron says, yes, I think so, said Ron. I think Mom's got a second cousin who's an accountant, but we never talk about him. I love Ron so much. And so this is the beginning of the magic that is Ron and Harry's best friendship that lasts the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Harry finds out that Ron has 5 brothers, even though there were only 4 boys there. He's got 2 older brothers who have already left Hogwarts, Bill and Charlie. And then he's
like, I wish I had 3 brothers. And he goes, 5.
And they bond over the fact that Ron's like, dude, everything's hand me down, whatever. And Harry's like, yeah, me too. Like, and so they kind of bond over this stuff. And
they bond over being poor.
Yeah, they bond over being poor, and Harry tells him, like, he's never had money, whatever, and now he finds out he has wizard money. And then the trolley comes, and Harry's like, whoa, what is it? He's thinking he's going to buy some Mars bars, because he's never had money when a trolley came by or whatever. And he's thinking he's going to buy Mars bars, but no. He has the options of... It says, he had never had any money for candy with the Dursleys, and now that he had pockets rattling with gold and silver, he was ready to buy as many Mars bars as he could carry. But the woman didn't have Mars bars. What she did have were Bertie Bott's Every Flavor beans, Drooble's Best Blowing Gum, chocolate frogs, pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes, licorice wands, and a number of other strange things Harry had never seen in his life. Not wanting to miss anything, he got some of everything and paid the woman 11 silver sickles and 7 bronze newts. Or knuts. We still haven't figured out how you say it.
Oh, I went on like, I kind of tried to do a little deep dive, and I think it is Canutes.
I knew I had heard that and I was surprised. But the whole time I was reading it, all those times I looked at it like newts, but I heard it pronounced Canutes.
Yeah. I think that you are absolutely right in that one.
So they're in there, and Harry's brought back all this food, and Ron's like, hungry, are you? And Harry's like, I've just never had any of this stuff. I want to taste everything. Here, have some. And they just have a good old time munching on chocolate frogs. And Harry gets his first chocolate frog card, and Ron's like, oh yeah, I have like 500 of them. I need Agrippa and somebody else. And Harry gets his first card, and it's Dumbledore. And as they eat more and more chocolate frogs, Harry starts his chocolate frog card collection.
Mm-hmm.
Then, trying to remember, did Neville come in first and then Hermione and Neville came in together? I can't remember, but Neville loses his frog, or his toad. It's not a frog, it's a toad. Neville loses his toad, Trevor, and they meet Neville and Hermione because they're looking for Trevor.
Yeah.
And Hermione immediately comes off as this bossy know-it-all. I am convinced that Hermione has a photographic memory. She mentions how she's already read all of the school books and memorized them for the term. And, oh, you are Harry Potter? Oh, no, they do introductions, and he says he's Harry Potter. And she's like, oh, I've read about you in A History of Magic and in this book and in this book. And he's like, and then she's like, she tells Ron, you have something on your nose, you know? And they don't exactly like her very much. And then once they go away,
know it all.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe that's why people don't.
If you don't have the traits, or if you don't have the same qualities, or if you just don't care so much like that, it's definitely hard. Much harder to love.
Well, she's definitely a know-it-all. She's already memorized all the books, and they're not even to school yet. They're on the train. And that's like,
but that also comes from personal insecurity, right? Like, in order to be extra prepared, because you don't want to falter, you don't want to be caught out, right?
That's true. They did say Hermione's boggart was her not passing a test or something.
Yeah, like she's very much afraid of it, for sure.
So she doesn't leave a good taste in their mouth in the beginning, and then, just because, yay, let's make it super fun, in come Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle. And Malfoy's like, oh, I told you that, what did he say? I told you when I met you in Diagon Alley that there's good wizard families and bad wizard families and whoop-de-whoop, and maybe I can help you with that. And Harry says, I think I can figure out which families for myself, thank you. Because he already don't like Malfoy, because Malfoy's garbage. And I'm trying to remember, I think Crabbe or Goyle reached in to try to snatch some candy or something like that, and Scabbers attacked him and bit his finger, and in the melee they jinxed that guy, and Fred and George came and jinxed the guy, and then there was just a bunch of them in the hallway.
Oh, it was Goyle. I would have bet money else.
No, they didn't hex anybody because Harry and those guys didn't know how to hex yet. I'm thinking of a different time on the train.
Yes, they didn't hex anybody this time. It was just the fact that there were people coming from outside and whatnot.
Yeah, they were going to fight.
Yeah, they were going to throw down.
Yeah. So then they get to Hogwarts finally. And they get off, and Harry hears Hagrid, "First years, this way. Leave your luggage. It'll be brought up for you." And then they go down and they get into these rowboats, and they're magic rowboats, and they go across the Black Lake, and they get their first view of Hogwarts over the mountains and just the skyline of Hogwarts Castle. And then they go under a little tunnel, and they come out in the front, and they go up into the castle, and now they're at Hogwarts.
Yay!
And that is chapter 6.
That is it.
Such a great chapter. So many great characters. Yeah. Our first glimpse of Hogwarts, where everything happens. Well, not everything, because there's other places, but everything is centered around Hogwarts.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, this is where most of our, I would say, what?
I'd say 75% of everything happens there. Because
only
we have
75?
things. I would say only 75, because every single summer we start off at the Dursleys, because he has to go back to the Dursleys. Some summers he goes. Yeah. Every summer he goes to the Burrow, or tries to, after this. He goes to, there are things that happen at the Ministry of Magic. There are things that happen at, at Gringotts. There are things that happen in Diagon Alley, in Hogsmeade. And then there's, before the Battle of Hogwarts, which I won't say anything more about, just know there's a Battle of Hogwarts. Before that, there's all those places, because remember the moving around. Then there's 12 Grimmauld Place.
That's true.
So yeah, I'd say maybe 75% happens at Hogwarts. I would say there's a lot of other stuff that goes on outside of Hogwarts that we hadn't realized until we just started talking about it right now.
Man, the 12 Grimmauld Place Lego set.
Man. Oh, not to mention all the times on the train, because they have to take the train there and back, and a lot happens on the train all the time. Yeah. How come there's no adults on the train? Nobody supervises them on the train.
There's the trolley lady. She doesn't do supervision per se. She just does sales. And then there's the conductor, which Hermione mentions. And
that's pretty much it. Except for the one time one of the teachers rode up with them, and they thought it was weird. They were like, "Why is the teacher riding up with us?"
I have a question, though. So, like, Ron, we see that Ron performs magic on the train, and attempts to perform magic on the train, and Hermione does too. Is the train considered school? Are they now in a place where they can practice magic?
Maybe. Because they are inside the Muggle world on the Hogwarts Express. They're now technically property of Hogwarts because their parents put them on the train. So I would think technically once you're on the train, you're Hogwarts property.
But like the train, at some point, the train goes through like communities, right? Through neighborhoods.
But if the magic is contained inside the train, you don't stand the risk of like Muggles necessarily seeing stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, is there some kind of spell on the train where it's not like an invisibility spell?
That could be too.
Maybe.
That could be too.
Because I would imagine if someone does something like in the future, we find out that some kids are more prone to making mistakes with magic and causing things to explode.
It would just be
What if there's
a train crash. They would spin it for the muggles.
yeah, so that people wouldn't be able to see it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Just like
Okay.
other things that happened, and it was a gas leak. Remember? They spin it for the muggles because the muggles can't know.
All right.
And also, there probably is some kind of enchantment on the train. I mean, you got to keep all those kids safe, especially if there's adults on the train.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is there aren't any adults on the train. Like, how are they letting these kids?
Yeah, so like there's got to be some kind of spell on the train. There's got to be.
Yeah, because there are also kids of all ages, right? It's not just first years; it's all 7 years.
11 to 16.
So there
17.
are kids that have way better magic, right? Like that they're much better at it, they're more advanced. So they could easily do some damage.
Yeah. But
that's wild.
I mean, the head boy and head girl are in charge, I guess.
Yes.
Although technically, hold on, 11, 12, 13, 14. So by the time you're year 7, you're 17. And at 17, you're of age in the wizarding world. So technically, the 7th years are adults.
Oh, that's true.
And then you have head boy and head girl. Do they have head boy and head girl in each house, or is there just a head boy, head girl? Because prefects, there's 2 in each house.
No,
okay.
There's only one.
So there's the head boy, there's the head girl, and all of the 7th years who have turned 17 are already technically adults.
Yes.
So there are adults on the train, sort of.
Yeah.
So if stuff really got out of hand, it would be up to the head boy, the head girl, the prefects, and then the other adult 7th years to keep things in line, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Never thought about that before.
There you go. That's why we're here, to think about these things.
So what was your takeaway from the chapter? Oh, what? Well, was there something we didn't?
No, I was just going to ask, like, what about book versus movie? Do you have any book versus movie moments? Like, we kind of talked about them, but we didn't really talk about the movie very much. So,
okay, so
the introduction, we don't meet Gran or Neville or the Toad, no. Neville's pet Toad. We don't meet any of them. We don't meet Lee Jordan. We don't really have an introduction into the twins. Very, like, not as in depth as we do in the book.
Although they do the scene where he's like, honestly, mother, don't you know him, George? And she's like, I'm sorry, dear. They do that, and it's funny because the twins are funny. They're only like, are they 2 years? I always forget. Are they 2 years older than Harry and Ron, or just 1?
Sorry. They
are. He's in his 5th year because he's a prefect.
No, I think
the year that they. No, they're 2 because the 5th year when Umbridge is there is their last year.
Oh, yeah.
They're 2 years. So this is their 3rd year.
Yeah.
So they're only 2 years older than Ron and Harry. And in the books, they're always around. Like, they all hang together. And I hate how much they're not in the movies.
Yeah, they're way better characters in the books. Way better characters. Way funnier. And then you get to really delve into their shenanigans. Yeah.
And they're like thick as thieves with Lee Jordan. They're a friggin' threesome. The twins and Lee Jordan are always together. And in the movie, you get Lee Jordan just announcing the Quidditch match. Nothing else.
Yeah.
And the 3 of them together they're hilarious. Because they're mischievous.
Sorry, go ahead.
What I love about the twins and Lee Jordan is that they're mischievous and they are always in trouble, but none of their stuff is ever malicious. They're just pranky. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't
exactly.
do stuff that hurts anybody. They just want to laugh.
Yeah, they're not like crap as croonies.
Yeah, they're not like, and their idea of fun isn't dunking somebody's head in the toilet or anything like that. It's like, surprise fireworks or something. Like,
Yeah, they're not bullies. Yeah,
no,
they're definitely
they're
not bullies.
actually,
They're just
yeah. And you
monsters.
can see Molly instilled in them to be good people. They're actually, decent people, and they believe in doing what's right. And
Yeah,
but they're always in trouble because they're mischievous as all get out, but not malicious at all.
right. Another thing that I thought was really interesting that they missed that we didn't get to see in the movies is that Harry spends more time at home after he went to Diagon Alley for the first time. So Hagrid takes
Mm-hmm.
him shopping to Diagon Alley in the last chapter, in our last chronicle that we discussed, and then he goes back home and he spends time like Hedwig flies in and out of the window. He reads his books. He's preparing. As you said, Dudley spends a month with a pig's tail. And then
Oh, and they totally ignore him at this point.
the nucleus of the Dursleys have to live with Harry for another month, knowing that he's going to wizarding school in a month. And I
And
feel
that he
like
knows
that,
he's a wizard now.
and I feel like that tension that mounts because of it is missed in the movies, because literally after Diagon Alley, directly after shopping, he goes onto the Hogwarts Express.
Yeah.
So
Hagrid drops him off at the train and he's like, all right, just go that way to platform 9 3/4 and disappears.
yeah,
I believe when Hagrid says he flew, he apparated both times because he just disappeared on the train station.
yeah. So I think like those things kind of give us a little bit different feeling when you're reading the book. You're obviously more invested in the fact that like the anticipation of Harry going to school, he's crossing days off his calendar, all that stuff. Very much, very different feeling.
Yeah. That
My
anticipation and build isn't there in the movie. You're right.
yeah. My takeaway, more than anything, it's just the foreshadowing of how important the Weasley family, the nucleus of the Weasley family, is for Harry and his incredible relationship that begins with Ron, especially. Like, he is starting to belong. It's that bit of starting to create something where he was just floating throughout life before, kind of being pushed around, and now he can start building his own roots.
He was just existing before.
Exactly. So, what about you?
My takeaway was just Molly Weasley. I just love the Weasleys. I love everything about the Weasleys. I love how there are 7 kids, but they love the hell out of each other. Yes, there's sibling stuff that goes on and they poke at each other and all of that, but they love each other fiercely. They are a big, loving family, and Molly is the epitome of mom. She's just a mom to anybody, to everybody. Like we said earlier, and just the fact that immediately she was like, yes, dear. Oh, of course. And she's immediately just kind and okay, sweetheart. But she doesn't ask any questions or anything. And she said she wondered and that he was so polite, but and then, oh, no wonder he was alone. You know what I mean? And she's very emotionally intuitive, very emotionally intelligent. She also is just a really great and really kind person, and she's tried to instill that in all of her kids, and she's done a really good job because we love the Weasleys. Like, we love the Weasleys. And for me, my takeaway was just Molly Weasley, because a little piece of foreshadowing. She is going to become like a mom to him, like happens to a lot of us when our best friend's mom becomes that second mom figure, you know? So, Molly.
Cool.
Oh, the other piece of foreshadowing that I noticed too was the relationship between Ginny and the twins. So Ginny and the twins are really close. Like they're her closest brothers, I think. And
Yeah.
so like she's crying and whatever as the train's taking off, and they tell her, "Oh, don't worry, Ginny, we'll ride every day, and we'll send you a Hogwarts toilet seat." And so she's chasing them, waving, but she's half crying, half laughing because she's gonna miss everybody, but her brothers are ridiculous, and she hangs with her brothers. Like, oh, and we don't get to see it just yet, but Ginny ends up being just a bad ASS woman because she has 6 older brothers.
Yes. That really molds who she is as a person.
Yeah,
how
like
strong, confident, and doesn't take any crap.
And like tries to like be independent because she's so protected. She's the only girl. She's got 6 brothers. She's the youngest. Like she's so protected, and all she wants to do is be like, "No, dude, like I got this."
Yeah.
We love the Weasleys, and every single one of them has flaming red hair, and I love a ginger.
Yeah, they're adorable. They're adorable.
So, for a long time after I read the books the first time, I called every redhead a Weasley.
Okay.
I had a student who had red hair, and I would call her my favorite little Weasley, and she was like, "I'm not even into Harry Potter. I don't even know what that means." And I was like, "That's okay. You're still my favorite little Weasley." All right. Is it time to make magic?
It's time to make magic.
Yay!
All right. Well, first, do you want to discuss last Chronicles magic?
We can if you'd like.
I would. I want to know, how did it go? Was it magically wonderful or mischievously difficult?
Well, as you know, my goal is to try to make something that looks halfway decent, but try to do it as easy as possible without getting too big and crafty, because I'm not as crafty as you are.
Yeah.
I'm actually rather impressed with my results. You all should have seen them in the IG story earlier this week and voted on them. I'm actually pretty proud of how they came out. I did mostly paint, and like I had these wooden beads that had holes on them that I could paint different colors and do different things with. And I used a lot of, I was looking for like the nail art in the Daiso because I know that that's what you used, but I kept finding a lot of like, I don't know, it was like glitter pieces that you put in the clear so that it makes it all glittery, and I didn't want that. So because I was looking for like nail stickers, and I only found like one. But what I did find was like tape. It's not even tape, but it's like strings of like rhinestones and things like that, but like sticky and on a string, so I could wrap it around and it would be rhinestoned or that kind of thing. So I used a lot of those. So I've got some fun little stuff. I hope you liked it when you saw it earlier this week.
I'm so glad that it wasn't like difficult.
No, it actually ended up being fun. I just picked up little things that were inspired by what I had seen you do. And then when I did it, I just kind of, as I was going through, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to use this color paint. And then, okay, well, what decorations go with this color paint? And just went from there. and
Mm,
8 wands.
okay. And hopefully you were able to use like old craft stuff that you've been using.
Oh, yeah.
Thus
Oh,
far.
definitely. Because I have a collection of paints now, and I had, some other stuff in there. And yeah, it actually, I think, went really well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. This time I am not testing you very much. I think this
Okay.
is a buy things that you can find and put it together.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you can start.
Okay.
All right. So these are your materials. If you have a random jar in your house that you no longer use, or if you buy pickles or something and it has a label, nail polish remover will help you take the glue off the label and help you like kind of get your glass all cleaned up. Now I
That's
bought
the American version. The Japan version is nail remover.
yeah. Nail remover. I'm like, oh, that's good for a laugh. You want to remove your nails completely, entirely? Get you some nail remover. Okay. I also bought ping pong balls. I bought balls that were different sizes. And yes, I'm going to say balls a lot. I bought ping pong balls. I bought bouncy balls. Like in Japan, we call them super balls, because they, don't stop bouncing. Yeah. And then there are different sizes and different colors. One of them is iridescent, like it's got a little pearly kind of hue to it and a kind of smoky effect. And then the one in the middle has a glittery, translucent effect. So then, can we move on? I printed a label. This is a label that I found on the internets, on the interwebbies. And it says, Drubel's best blowing gum, guaranteed to never lose flavor. And I wanted obviously different sizes, different colors in there. And we can go to the next one to show them what it looks like once I've put all the balls in there. And I have to say that I was not happy with the ping pong balls. They looked really out of place because they were obviously ping pong balls in my eyes. So I went back to the drawing board. Please show me. Yeah. And with my paints and my glitters and my craft stuff that I have, I tried to paint them in slightly different hues. Hopefully you can see that the one on the far side, I think it's the far right, is darker. I put a little bit of kind of gold finish to it with the glitter. And then the one in the middle is a little bit more on the purple side. And then the one on the opposite side has more lighter purple with more iridescence to it. And then once they were dry, I was able to put them in the jar. And now I felt like it looked much better. On this picture, you can see the one with the gold on it. I just feel like this has a more completed effect as opposed to the one with the ping pong balls in it. And easy peasy. So you can see it just doesn't look good, I don't think, in comparison to this one, where this is completed. This looks good. What do you think?
I love it. And I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So
Literally,
hopefully no unforeseen roadblocks.
Print a label, get yourself a jar, print a label, stick the label on. I stuck the label on with double-sided tape. So it's easy enough to do that. Or glue, whatever you want to use. And I feel like it looks so much cuter with this finish than it did
It
before.
does. It does. It blends so much better.
And it looks like magical gum, right?
Yeah. Very cute. I like.
Yeah. That is the magic. Now, I have a special surprise.
Yay!
Somebody very sweet.
Unveiling.
Yeah, I got a present. So this is from Maho Dokoro. When you get into the Harry Potter world, you will come to find that there are other wizarding schools. There are other places in the world, not just Hogwarts. We just introduced Hogwarts, but there are actually other wizarding schools for other countries, for other people, for other wizards around the world to go to. And the Japanese the Japanese wizarding school is Maho Dokoro. And this gift comes from the Maho Dokoro shop. And one of them is, oh my God, look at this cutie patootie little head wig. Cutie patootie head wig has a little tail, has little spots, the markings on his wings, on her wings, and she's holding a little letter. Oh, what a cutie patootie. And I got two more things. One of them is a Fantastic Beasts, kind of I don't know if it's actually Funko Pop or if it's just like Fantastic Beasts Wizarding World, non-collaborated materials. But there are all these different characters, and it's a surprise. So when I opened it, I got Queenie. Queenie is, here she is. Queenie is from the Fantastic Beasts world, and she is one of the witches who falls in love with a muggle. She's super cute. So now she falls in love with Kowalski, so I can put her on my shelf with Kowalski. And then one more, I got this gorgeous pin. Oh, I don't know if you can see it properly. It is Hogwarts Castle in gold, and it's got these little stars on it, but it's just the cutest little pin ever. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think I'm going to put this, I don't know, on my purse, maybe. But yeah, that is a little something from Maho Dokoro. Yay!
Super cute.
Yes.
Okay. Next up. You ready?
I guess.
Hallows or Horcruxes. Okay. This week's question, in keeping with the chapter and something from the chapter, would you rather eat an earwax flavored every flavor bean or have your enemy pick the flavor that you eat?
Okay. Just so that everybody knows, there are, let's see.
Every flavor.
Yeah, like liver, tripe,
Grass.
pepper, There's fun story. Let me before I answer this, let me tell you a fun story. My cousin and I, when they first came onto the market, when because Jelly Belly, the company, is the one who makes every flavor beans. And when Jelly Belly first unveiled the every flavor beans pack, my cousin and I sat down with the little guidebook, because it's like an accordion book, rolled it all out, looked at everything, looked at all the pieces, and tried to map them all out, and literally tasted every single one in our pack. My first question, let me just say, is who taste tested all of this? Who sat there in the factory and said, this doesn't taste enough like dirt? Because the most foul flavor that I experienced, I don't know if you've tried it, is vomit. Vomit. And I don't know if it exists anymore as a flavor. They may have discontinued it because it was so vile. It literally tasted like spoiled milk, like rotten milk, and it was very reminiscent of vomit. It was disgusting. So I personally have to answer that I would much rather go with earwax. I'm down, because I know, wouldn't your enemy choose vomit or sardine or tripe or anything?
Or veggies.
Okay, I would imagine that boogers, don't you think boogers taste similarly to earwax? I'm not sure because I've never tried earwax before, but
Either.
but you've had to have understood the flavor of booger.
I guess.
In the sense that, well, number one, when you were a kid, did you not eat boogers? There are some kids who do. I don't know. I've seen kids just go like this. Go at it.
Eat them.
Okay, I'm a teacher.
No, I picked them, but I didn't eat them.
But when you're sick,
yeah, the back drip.
Yeah, there's a reminiscence. There's a bit of an understanding of what it might taste like, right? You can kind of venture a guess.
Bottom line is,
well, since everything is connected, right? I don't think it could be as foul as vomit.
Still, the bottom line is that it says there's literally every flavor. And so I'm not allowing someone who does not like me to pick a flavor for me. I will take the earwax simply because I know what it is. I'm not going to like it, but if I got to choose, at least I know what it is. I don't have the anxiety of having to wait and figure out what this person is going to pick for me and not even knowing what every flavor really, really, really consists of. I'll just take the earwax to be the safest choice. And no, I have never tasted Birdie Bot's every flavor beans because I refuse. I don't trust it.
No, really?
I had a pack that I kept on the shelf until they expired just because I had them, but I would not eat them. You know me. If I ate a vomit flavored jelly bean, I would vomit.
It's so gross. It's really
There's
gross.
other shit that would totally make me gag. And why? Why do I want to? No, thank you. I trust that it tastes like what they said it tastes like. I'm good.
Yeah. The one that I thought was really fun, though, there's, in case anyone ever wants to venture out and get one.
Anybody who's not me, go ahead.
There's a box that has a little spinny wheel. and you set it up where you put a little bean in each little compartment, and you just spin, and that's the one you eat. It's random. The thing is that the delicious flavors, like any of the berries or anything like, the blueberry, the cherry, stuff like that, are delicious. I mean,
yeah, you just go get Jelly Bellies and regular ass flavors. I love Jelly Bellies.
yeah. Oh man, the buttered popcorn. Are you a fan of the buttered popcorn Jelly Belly?
It really does taste like popcorn, but after you eat so many of them, it gets kind of gross.
Oh, I don't want to eat so many of them.
Well, but I like when I can go to the place where all the Jelly Belly flavors are separated and I can just pick what flavors I want. I love the watermelon ones. I love the cinnamon ones. I like, the berries and cherries and all those too, but the watermelon and the cinnamon are my two absolute favorite, and the peach is really good.
Let me ask you this. Have you done any of the combos? Like the hacks?
Yeah, like the caramel apple and I've done a couple, but like,
where you're like eating apple pie, you put like a cinnamon, an apple, and a caramel one in your mouth, and you're like munching them all at the same time.
I have.
Yeah.
And they have a little book that'll show you those too in the regular Jelly Belly flavors.
Yeah.
And don't go on the internet. You'll have woof.
Okay. Actually, hold on. Okay. I had to wheel myself over. I received a gift from the Tokyo Experience. No, this is from Universal. And they, in Japan, I'm assuming that this also exists in the States. But this was a gift that I received from a friend. And this
Beans chocolate.
Yes. I don't know if I have the picture. Oh, no, this one comes with the little like guidebook. But what this was, I don't have a picture of them anymore. I ate them. So this box is empty. But it's like what is that called? The chocolate with the peanuts and the caramel turtles?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's reminiscent of that in shape, where it's a blob of chocolate with little jelly bellies in the middle and some like sprinkles, some glitter sprinkles. And they put those tasty combinations on here. None of them are yucky flavors. None of them are gross flavors. They're all delicious flavors. And it was so good. Thank you to my friend who got this for me. It was delectable. And I like the fact that it says every flavor
unimaginable.
Like you can't even imagine the flavors that they make. But yeah, these were all very delicious. And I will guarantee you right now, people who are watching and listening, that I will make Christina McCrary eat this.
I was going to say, that sounds like something I would try.
Yes. So that at least she can have tried an every flavor bean. Okay? So, spoiler alert, she's coming. She's coming to Japan. And
guys, our December episodes are going to be off the chain.
We've got surprises for you, okay? We've got some surprises. I'm telling you right now, we're giving you a little, we're not going to tell you anything. You're going to have to watch. All we're going to tell you right now is that she's coming and that have got some things to show you. Okay. So it's, be prepared. I'm so excited.
Great show. Tell the people where to find you.
I'm Poodle Noodle 82. Come on. I'm a Hufflepuff, so come one, come all. Let's go, baby. Let's make some magic.
Oh my goodness. Hey y'all, hey, it's your favorite Ravenclaw, Christina McCrary on Facebook, aka The Black Mirror, aka Captain Consistent, aka Petty Level 12 and a half, aka Xtina McCrazy on Instagram and TikTok, host of McCrazy's Place on YouTube, and it has an IG and a Facebook. Co-host of Thursday Night Live on Facebook and YouTube, and co-host of this beautiful, magical, wonderful Harry Potter podcast, The Lightning Bolt Chronicles. You can watch us on YouTube. You can hear us on Audible, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Music, and our website, www.thelightningboltchronicles.com. We also have a Facebook page and a TikTok page, but where you really want to be is in the Instagram stories, because that is where the interactivity happens, where you get to vote on my mischief my mischief version of Erica's Making Magic, where you get to vote and tell us how you would answer the Hallows and Horcrux questions, and where every episode, we release 5 trivia questions. So if you've been watching and listening, you should know the answers to those. Thank you once again for coming out. Have a magical, magical 2 weeks, and we'll see you the Friday after next.